we sort of we took a step back. We lived here for about 12 months before we started the renovation process. Understood that the house and understood what our family needs were, and then we decided to engage an architect to help us visualise some of those needs. And I think I looked at it from a sort of cost perspective, and so I said, this is the budget we have to play with, and then we worked with our architect to help us really define some of the key elements of the house. We also thought we might do it in phases as well. So we thought, it's not going to be a big bang kind of approach to deliver the renovation, but you're going to do it in a few phases. A couple of bathrooms upstairs first, and then the kitchen, or other way around. And then we got to a stage where we thought we could engage a builder. And
there we got introduced to a couple of different builders, and based on our needs, that's how we chose. From the very beginning, they were very honest, and I think we appreciated their professionalism and honesty and thought we could get the job done exactly how we wanted it. James introduced us to him. Simon had been to one of their open house to showcase one of their previous projects and came home with a really glowing report. And off the back of that, we decided to have a meeting with them here.
Yeah. For us, an architect seeing their work and saying you should speak to these people, then physically looking at one of their completed jobs, allowed us to go, actually, what what we have as a vision and what they're creating in reality actually will match quite nicely.
We knew it was going to be our forever home.
Yes.
It had to be done well, and that's what appealed to us.
When we briefed Craig and Adam, we spoke about this as being something that is really special for us, for our kids, and it's not something that we're going to flip in 2 or 3 years' time. This is a place for forever, and that the quality outcome was really important. We went through conversations with both Craig and Adam, as well as a number of other builders, to really understand what they can bring to the table, and allowed us to really get clear in our minds what the key criteria was for a builder that we wanted to work with. And Kate mentioned before that they're very honest, really direct, and for us in those early phases, they delivered upon their commitment. In
hindsight, that was a fantastic trait of theirs early days.
Yeah, great example is our goal was to say, let's save some money and not move out and live here through the renovation. And we can do it. We're tough. The kids are old enough. There'll be no problems. And they said, no, you can't do it. And these are the reasons. And in fact, we won't do the job if that's the approach you want to take. That was a bit of a reality check for us because in my line of work is the customer's always right. And in this instance, they were trying to tell us that the customer wasn't right. And
we weren't.
In fact, they were 100% correct. We weren't. And we were kidding ourselves in terms of the stress, the additional pressure it would have created for both our family and for the builders on site. Safety, and ultimately big cost, because I think the duration of the build would have been longer just because of them having to tiptoe around having somebody who lived in it. In fact, we couldn't have lived here. It was impossible. But they saw that before we did.
It was really important because I think particularly the kitchen that's where we spend the majority of our time, and through our collaboration with the architect, we came up with this vision that we just loved. And then to see the builders be able to deliver and make suggestions that have ended up being correct ones, it was hugely important.
What I saw as a part of the process, then there was always, as a part of any build, there's stresses and strains, but I think there was this mutual respect. The respect for the guys on site and the builders and the Adam and Craig's team around the advice they were giving, the vision that the architect had and our needs as a family. I think there was this collaboration that we were able to adapt to each other's needs, and I think one of probably the key skills we had as a collective was the ability to listen and adapt within the project, because there always are unforeseen circumstances when you start a build, and the way we adapted as a team, we still talk very fondly and joke about the things that we went throughout the build. And I mean, we've done another build in the past, and this was a stress-free process.
It was a really enjoyable process. And because we speak to friends who are doing similar things, and It always there seems to be drama and negativity associated. It was exciting and positive, a really great experience. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it wasn't without challenge. Like there's significant challenge, but I think the way we worked together as a team for that decision-making process, given this was going to be our home for life, quality was key, and that really probably helped in the decision-making criteria. But we're very clear upon that, with Craig and Adam, with our architect James, and we maintained that. And I just think it was just good being able to have those open conversations. It wasn't conversations that we were having with the builder, and then we were having with the architect, and then trying to make sure that both sides were okay. We were happy with the architect talk to the builder. We're happy for us to talk to the builder. The communication just flowed, and I think that was through the respect of the various parties.
We did have challenge with neighbours, and Simon dealt with it more than I did, but there was a lot of help from Tom in particular, who was our site manager. He was excellent as a go-between. He made it a little bit easier.
I think there's two elements. One was the boys on site. I think they were really respectful to neighbour, and were able to provide us context around some of the challenges that they're having with the neighbour, which allowed me then to have a conversation with the neighbour, which was really helpful. On the flip side, there was then the advice that Adam in particular was able to provide me. Again, not in the industry, but the advice which was given allowed me then to have the right kind of conversation with our neighbour to get an outcome which was the right outcome for all parties, and done in a way which was respectful to the needs of them, and what our vision was. What I took away from that is it's great having people, and again James, our architect, was great here as well, having people who you can use for advice, who don't step away from the issue, they step into it, and they've experienced similar issues before, and we haven't. Yeah. So there's that expertise. I felt like we as a team had to deal with it, so it wasn't you go, Simon, here's an issue, go deal with it. It was actually us collectively dealing with it, albeit I was the face back into the neighbour. They will be able to give us some really strong advice. Yeah. It was a team. Yeah. It was definitely a team. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And even when we would visit and see the guys, the trades, everything was very positive and exciting. Yeah. They were lovely. They were, really welcoming to us, and they were enthusiastic too. I think it was definitely a team effort. We were quite engaged in the process. So I think, all parties, it wasn't, here's the contract, sign the contract, we'll see you back in 9 months. Actually, there was regular check-ins, there was regular feedback points, there was regular times where we actually had a list of things that, there's an agenda set up every fortnight where we had challenges or decisions to make. And we're given enough notice to be able to think that through in advance of those decisions need to be made, and it was done so that all parties knew sort of where we were and where we're heading, and done in a really. It was very professional. Very professional. One of the things I like, and my team at work, they joke about very structured and plan out sort of what I do, and what I found, and with Adam, I spoke, and Craig, I spoke to them about we're trying a new system. I said, listen, try it with us, and it was an online system. I could check the status of the job on my phone at any time, any day. There were updates on the system they provided, updates in terms of how they're tracking to schedule, but also updates in terms of photos. Photos, yeah. And that was great for Kate and the kids to go, where's that wall gone? Actually, that wall's now a room. And seeing the transformation over the 9 months, albeit the kids came from time to time, it was helpful for us to manage the expectations around what's going on back at home. I felt that they were as proud as we were. It's our home, of course, we're emotionally invested, but I felt like they were too. And that's what I think that's where that positivity came from. And it's gone beyond just the job. So if I think back, even last week, Emery, who's one of the site leads, he came round just to say, hey, it's a check-up, we're 9 months in, this is our sort of 9-month check-in, are there any things that we need to look at? And we had less than a handful, and they were super minor. But the fact that they came to us to say, just checking in. And that's happened on 3 occasions now, sort of 3 months, 6 months and 9 months. That just gives me confidence. And if I think about the build process, what the guys said they did, the communication was excellent, which has led to a whole lot of trust. And when you've got trust in the system, it makes the team environment really, really cohesive and easy to work with. We had a time, and this is, Kate was in hospital at one stage last year, only for a very short stay, but there was some stresses and strains in the family, but I didn't have to worry about the home because I trusted what was happening in the home environment with Adam and Craig and James the architect. So it was just one less thing I had to worry about because I had to be dad and had to be husband, and that was a pretty important phase. So I could just do that.
I hope it is evident through everything we're saying, but I would recommend Builders of Architecture any day of the week, and we have, to people. The quality is excellent. Yeah,
the quality has pretty exceeded my expectations, and I've got pretty high expectations, so that's always pretty solid. What I love, and I think people should underestimate the ability to have a relationship with all parties in the process is really, really important, and unfortunately unusual. The commitment, what the guys commit to and what they deliver, it's like for like. It's not it's not vapor. It's not they say one thing, they do something different. No, they didn't cut corners. They were respectful towards the design we had originally. They were true to the vision, and they were very respectful for us and our family. And frankly, if I could do it again, I probably would. But I don't want to do it again right now. But it was great. I mean, it sounds weird, but it was actually fun.
It was good.
I would do it again.